adultery is committed by any married woman who shall have carnal knowledge with a man other than her husband. There are three other ways by which concubinage may be committed. It's committed by a married man who shall have carnal knowledge with a woman other than his wife under a scandalous circumstance. The term under a scandalous circumstance, you don't find that in the definition of adultery. Second, concubinage may also be committed by a married man who shall cohabit with a paramour in another dwelling. And thirdly, concubinage may be committed by a married man who shall bring into the conjugal dwelling the paramour.
For me, it's okay as long as it has its good line. It is in line with love talaga. As long as it's not about any other thing. Love and marriage comes like a horse and a carriage. With love, love is the horse and marriage is the carriage. Love will pull marriage and marriage will not pull the love. So you can't pull a carriage without the horse, right? So love will always go first. So
adultery, in my opinion, is an issue of betrayal. A betrayal not only to the institution that is marriage, but more importantly, it is a betrayal to the promise of love and fidelity that is built on marriage. On that note, I am against it, considering the fact that it breaks up families and that it breaks up homes.
Para sa ako, sala dyan siya. Tapos, usa siya pamaagi nga makadawat siya o usa ka pamilya.
I'm uncomfortable that it is still an issue because we know it already that it's not moral. But in fact, Jesus went beyond that, not just adultery, but even just looking at the person with the selfish motivation is already an act of adultery. When the person is married, okay, you're not just committed to that particular person, okay, to a woman, to a man, but you're actually committed to the church. Okay, so your commitment is not just between the two person, but the commitment is to the church and to the people of God. And so any unfaithfulness to that commitment will certainly, affect the family, the two committed people, the community, and to the wider community. That people can only say that we can't really judge people because it's easy for us to see the action of the person, but we don't know what's going on within, the problems that the person probably is encountering in his life.
There is what we call formal compliance and substantial compliance. While it is written in the law, that's not really, this happens to most of the laws we have. It's not really translated into actual practice. Sabi nga natin, in the Philippines, we're very good with legislation, but enforcing them is a different story. Aside from that, we have to reckon with the existing culture na mukhang very tolerant ang Filipino culture because it's patriarchal. It's okay for the guys to fool around, but when it comes to girls, it's a no-no. So there's a double standard of morality. I'm not saying though that it should also be tolerated sa mga babae. So what I'm saying is that for as long as the culture is highly patriarchal, we cannot offer a comprehensive corrective measure for the behavior.
we say church, we're actually saying to ourselves, us, you and I, all of us. Okay, so that means that the question is actually, what are we going to do? We are called to be faithful. And we can be a good example for the people around us. Little things that we do. We don't have to look around. We don't have to do big things. But in our own way, in our own little things, to be faithful to who we are. To be faithful to our commitment. You as a student. Myself as a priest. Okay? And all of us. To be faithful to our commitment to our family. Rather than, if we have nothing to get from our family, I'm bored there, so I look around, I look outside of my family. But what about me? What is my contribution to make my family alive? So in fact, that question is actually to us, because we are the church, and we are asked to do little things so that these things might be avoided.
Punishment. I'd like to stress that based on the revised penal code, the punishment for adultery is higher than the punishment for concubinage, despite the fact that you're punishing the same act. It implies imprisonment because it's a criminal act. So by any criminal act, one of the possible punishment is imprisonment. Along with that, for every criminal liability, there is an inherent civil liability. So you may also be required by the court, depending on the findings of the judge, to pay for damages. Could be actual damages, moral damages, exemplary damages, or temporal damages.
Kailan mo edad nga nagulag mo mga papa?
First year ko ito, mga 12. Ay, first year summer. 13, narada. Kaya akong mama, naanakan siya glain. Naanakan siya glain, dili sa akong papa. Tapos akong papa, napod siya karelasyon dito sa gawas. Siyempre, at first, lain jud. Tapos, lagay mati, gani kung asa kami ko yung kay, siyempre, naanagod ka na silang doa. Bisan, wala sila, pero nag-uban gyapon sila. Naanagod ka, nakatong nagulag na sila. Pero lahi na gani ang atmosphere. Sige, nagbubot kay, abot lagi sa kuan, sa kabit-kabit, tapos nanapoy mga urban relatives na magapil-apil gani, magdugadugan sa problema mo. Tapos, so, nalain jud ka, tapos, kadugayan, dalawang po ko. Mas naging independent. Tapos, nawadan po ko respeto gamay sa akong magulay, labot sa akong mama. Pero, dili po ka ng grabe na kayo nga pagawa ng respeto. Kaya sa una, kumana man akong papa kung asa ko mukuyog. Kung asa ko mukuyog, dito ko kay, sa akong mama, kung sa iya ko mukuyog, dito ko makaiswila kay, dili man siya ang kanang nada na permanent na trabaho niya. Sa akong papa, makaiswila dito ko. So, lain ang feeling nga papilion ka, tapos, pili po ni mo mano kung sa dito dapat ang waton. So, akong ipili sa ako ng papa para makaiskwela po ko. Niya, para mano ba? Para napot ko yung makuha, bisan pa yung nga ng pamilya. Adultery, one siya. Sala, dako nga sala. Mandaot tayo ka ng